Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. Today we're gonna jump into another session of playing the GTO trainer. We're playing the spot MP2 open versus button call, and we've already played 125 hands, which you can watch in the previous episodes. We're playing 25 hands per an episode, and right now our EV loss is it's not looking the best. I would say it's looking fine. We're at minus 32 BBs of EV loss per 100 hands. So let's see if we can have a perfect session on 0 EV loss. First hand, we get dealt King Jack off on a deuce 7-9, and I think this is going to be a check from our side. The ideal action would actually be betting 5.5, and the solver would do that 45% of the time here, almost. But checking is also fine, but just don't overdo it. The villain bets 2.5, and I think we call here. Yeah, 44.4% of the time we call. Now we're gonna check the 4 of diamonds. The solver agrees with this line. The villain checks as well. And we have a 5 on the river. Now do we check and pretty much give up on the hand? Do we donk bet it? Do we bet 3/4 or do we overbet it? I think this could be a spot where we donk or we give up. I don't know, does donk betting make sense here? Gonna check. Yeah, actually betting 3/4 would be the ideal action. And the solver plays it 80% of the time here. Checking is bad. We should never be checking here and giving up on this. And it's a minus 1.42 BB of EV loss, so unfortunately, yeah, we made quite a big mistake. The villain now bets 15.5, and of course we're folding. Ace-5 suited on a 10-10-8. I think that's going to be a check. Again, the ideal action will be betting 5.5, and we're check calling. There's a 9 of diamonds on the turn. Maybe that's a good card to bet that, but I'm gonna check. Yeah, we should never be betting here. I mean, almost never. And we have a 10 on the river. Oh, we're check calling. Yeah, we win. King 9 of hearts on an ace-6-3 with 2 hearts. I assume it's gonna be a bet 2.5. It is. We get called. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. I think we can continue betting, and we can also check. I would maybe check for a change, but no, check is not a good option. We should bet either a donk, 3/4, or overbet. Checking should not be in our arsenal of play. So, and I think here is a perfect donk bet on the 9, but we're not gonna know because our last decision was so unusual. The solver didn't even count the 3 for this. Well, we get raised. Do we call this? No, we fold. 10-9 on a 7-3-8. Think that's going to be a bet 2.5. It is. King on the turn is probably the perfect card to bet at. We're gonna do it, yeah. An ace on the river, completing the flush draw. We have to bet again. And do we bet 3/4? Do we overbet? I think we're gonna bet 3/4. Well, it seems like dunk betting is actually ideal here, which is interesting. The solver does that 75% of the time. 3/4 is just a 3% play. Very small EV loss, but somehow we get called by just an 8. So that's kind of weird. Pocket 10s on an 8-8-9. I assume that's the bet 5.5. It is. You have another 9 on the turn. We're gonna check call. Yeah. And a queen on the river. I think we're check calling again. Well, he shoves all in. Are we still check calling? Do we fold? This is an interesting hand for sure. And I think we're calling. Oops. Somehow it started over, so let's just quickly go through it. Here we bet. Here we check called. And here we check called again, right? And that's actually a bad play. I mean, it's not a bad play because the EV loss is very small, but the solver doesn't approve this hand. He would only do this once every 100 hands, so we should be folding 99% of the time and just probably looking for a better spot. Yeah, and it makes sense, really. It is close EV-wise, but it is a huge risk, so why take it? I guess. Ace-9 on a deuce 4-9. I assume it's a check. It is. Villain checks as well. Now we're gonna bet 2.5. Checking would be the ideal play, but I like kind of doing this delayed c-bet. But I probably do it way more often than 20% of the time, but that's fine. We have a nice monster draw here with 9-8 on a 10-jack-3. And I think that's a bet 5.5. Check would be the ideal play, but bet 5.5 is 27% of the strategy, so not bad. I think we check here. Yeah. And do we check raise here? Is this a spot where we check raise? I think so. It is not. Okay. It should never be. Maybe once in a blue moon. It's not a big EV loss, but yeah. We should be just calling this here 100% of the time. That's good to know. 7-8 of hearts on a 5-queen-8. We're gonna bet 2.5. And the solver agrees with this line. We're gonna check on a 3 of clubs. The villain checks as well. And on the 10, is that a donk bet? Yay! We got the donk bet right. Perfect. Unfortunately, we lose versus a10. What can you do, right? Pocket 5s on a tray, jack deuce. I think we're betting 2.5. Ideal action would be a check, but Bet 2.5 is 42% of the strategy and pretty much the same. Jack Queen on an 8 Jack 10 with all clubs. So do we bet 2.5 here? Nope. Checks better, way better. Okay. Do we check now on the 9? Think so. Yeah. And now the villain bets. I think we give up, right? Just 50% of the time we should give up, so we should stick around 50% of the time. If he bets the pot here. That's interesting. Ten Jack on a Jack 8-10. It's gotta be a bet 5.5. It is not. It's a bet 2.5. But 5.5 is also a big part of the strategy. Ace King off on a Jack 8-3. I think that's a bet 2.5. It is. We get called. A 10 on the turn is a good card to bluff at, I think. Is this a spot where we overbet? It is not. It should just be 2/3 of the pot. Or 3/4. No, it's 2/3. Sorry about that. It's 2/3. But overbetting, well, it's just a rare play in the solver strategy, but it's a very small EV loss, so it's not bad play, but it's just a very infrequent play. With ace deuce here, is that a hand that we check? Perfect. We're even getting the checks right. We are on a roll. Queen of diamonds on the turn, and I think we have to bet now. We don't have to. Checking is ideal again and play 46% of the time. But if we're betting, betting 2/3 was a very infrequent play. So we should either be betting 1/3 or over betting. And I think probably 1/3 was a better option. And now we're checking. And what? And falling, actually, because we're not gonna know anything about this hand anyway. Queen Jack off on a Queen 8-5 is a bet 2.5. We get raised to 9.5. We're gonna call. 6 of hearts on the turn. We're gonna check. And the villain now bets 2/3 of the pot. What does he have here that he check raises with and continues on the turn? Is he doing that? I think it's a fold, right? With Queen Jack. I mean, we can call, I guess, with Ace King, Ace Queen, Ace Queen, King Queen, but Queen Jack perhaps is a fold spot, right? Just 48% of the time. So you should stick around. It's a 50-50 spot pretty much. Interesting. Queen 9 on a 5 Queen 4. Is that a bet 2.5? Yeah. Another 5 on the turn. Gonna check. Villain checks as well. And a 6 on the river. We're gonna check, right? Well, bet 8 would be the ideal play. Played 54% of the time. Checking is fine. EV-wise, but 28% of the solver's strategy. Pocket deuces on an ace a6. That's going to be a check. Bet 2.5 is much better. 7 of hearts. Check again. Villain checks as well. And 10 of spades on the river. Dunk bet. Check is better. A dunk bet 7% of the strategy. Queen 9 suited on a 5 tray. We check here, right? Or bet to 5.5. Now we caught our 9, so we are gonna bet 2/3. Would be better to overbet it. 8 of spades on the river. We're gonna check. Again, it would be better to overbet it. Wow. This is such a weird hand. I don't know why the solver takes such weird lines with a hand like Queen 9 here. But that's interesting. 4-3 of diamonds on a deuce 10 jack. That's a check. It is. Fold. Yeah. 5-4 of diamonds again on a slightly better board for our hand. I think that's about 2.5. Checks better. 6 on the turn. We pick up some more equity. Now do we bet 8 here? Let's see. Nope. It is a check. It is a clear check. 99% of the time. It should be a check. But we bet 2/3 and we got called. So we're gonna bet again. We're gonna bet the pot now. Or maybe that's a dunk bet. But yeah, we're not gonna know anyway. We raise all in. We fold. 9-10 of diamonds on a 6-8-5. Is that a bet 2.5? Check is better. That is almost 50-50. King on the turn is a good card to bluff at, I think. But would be better to bet less. To bet 1/3. But we go called. 4 on the river. Means we gotta shovel in, right? Or check and give up on the hand. This is super weird that the solver actually gives up here. 10 jack of clubs on a queen 10-9 is going to be a bet 2.5. Check is better. Slightly. Pocket sixes on a queen jack 7. That's a check. And a fold. Pocket nines on a 7-4 tray. Bet 2.5. Bet 5.5 is better. 10 of hearts on the river, on the turn, I mean. Do we bet again? No, I think we check. And we call. And a king on the river. We're gonna check fold. But thankfully the villain doesn't bet, so we win the pot. Ace jack suited on a queen 9-9 is a bet 2.5. It is. And we've played our 25s for today. So let's exit the session and see the results. Well, our overall EV loss was better this session than what we had so far, and our stats are actually quite fine. We're still more aggressive than we should be, and we're not falling enough, but those numbers are getting more and more alike to the GTO strategy, so that's a very good sign. We had this one pretty bad hand. Which one was it? It was this one, I think, minus 1.42. And we had just one more, and that was over a one big blind of EV loss. And just a bunch of smaller spots where we lost some EV. But overall, I think that was a pretty good session. And if we take a look at the overall EV loss, it got down to minus 30.5. So that's pretty good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you stayed this long, please leave a comment below. Just write GTO. And if you would like to see more videos like this and you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post something. We're doing this GTO spots videos twice a week, so if you're interested in them, feel free to subscribe, and I appreciate it a lot. So thank you guys so much. If you want to check out this GTO trainer, you can use the link in the description of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.